All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to explore a kind of personal health blueprint that was designed thousands of years ago. We're using the ancient science of Ayurveda to help you discover your unique constitution, what's known as your Prakriti. So, let's start with this question, because it's really the heart of the whole thing. It's asking us to completely shift how we think about what it even means to be healthy. And this path, it's not just about herbs or special diets. It's really a journey of self-discovery. It's about learning to work with your own nature instead of constantly fighting against it. To really get this, we first need to look at how Ayurveda's whole view on health is, well, pretty different from the one a lot of us grew up with. This quote from Dr. Robert Svoboda just nails it. The idea here is that a doctor isn't some miracle worker. They're more like a guide, someone who teaches us how to get in sync with the healing power that's already inside us and all around us, in nature. And this slide really lays out the core difference. On one side, you have the Western approach, which often talks about health like it's a war, right? We fight infections, we attack diseases, we kill germs. But Ayurveda, it's all about cooperation, about finding balance with nature. It's way more about prevention and harmony than just waiting to intervene when things go wrong. So with this mindset, getting sick isn't about being attacked by an enemy. It's actually a message. You could even call it a form of tough love. It's like nature hitting the pause button for us when we just won't listen to our own bodies, stopping us before we do more damage. Okay, so if health is all about harmony, how do we actually find it? Well, Ayurveda says the absolute key is to understand your own personal blueprint. And that blueprint is called your Prakriti. You can think of it like your body's factory settings, the unique metabolic profile you were born with. This isn't about some one-size-fits-all health plan. It's about understanding the specific way you were built. So what makes up this blueprint? According to Ayurveda, your Prakriti comes from a unique blend of three fundamental energies, or doshas. These three forces, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, are seen as the basic building blocks of the entire natural world. And that includes us. The specific combination of them that you have is what makes you, you. Now this is where it gets really interesting. Let's look at how different these energies are. First, you have Vata, made of air and ether. It's all about movement. Vata types are often super creative, quick thinkers, but they can also get anxious. Then there's Pitta, which is fire and water. This one governs your metabolism. Pitta people are often really driven, sharp, and intelligent, but they can get irritable, especially when they're hungry. And finally, we have Kapha, made of earth and water. This provides structure and stability. Kapha types are usually calm, loyal, and super compassionate, but they can sometimes lean towards being a little sluggish or resistant to change. So just think about it for a second. Which one of those sounds a little familiar? Most of us are a mix of two, but there's usually one that's a bit more dominant. Just recognizing these patterns in yourself is the very first step to figuring out what you need to feel balanced. So once you have an idea of your dominant energy, what do you do with that information? Well, one of the most powerful ways to create balance is through something we all do every single day: eating. But before we even get into specific foods, we have to talk about this beautiful concept called rasa. In Sanskrit, this word means both taste and emotion. How amazing is that? The idea is that the flavors you consume have a direct impact on your emotional state. Food isn't just fuel, it's emotional information for your body. So how does this work in real life? Well, since Vata is naturally airy, dry, and cool, we want to bring in the opposites. We need tastes that are grounding, moistening, and warming. That's why sweet, sour, and salty foods are so great for balancing Vata. They help calm that anxious energy. Think warm, nourishing foods, not so much raw, cold salads. And for our fiery Pitta types, the goal is pretty simple: cool things down. So you'll want to lean into tastes that are naturally cooling and calming, like sweet, bitter, and astringent flavors. They help soothe that natural intensity. It just makes sense, right? Adding more hot, spicy, or sour foods is just going to add more fire to the system. And finally, for the heavy, stable Kapha type, the name of the game is stimulation. Here we want things that are light, dry, and warming. Pungent, bitter, and astringent tastes are perfect for invigorating a slower metabolism and shaking off any of that sluggishness. And this quote is such a powerful way to think about things like caffeine. It's a metabolic credit card. You get this burst of energy now that you don't really have, but that bill always comes due, and you eventually have to pay it back, usually with total exhaustion. So when you start putting all these pieces together, a really clear path starts to take shape. It's all about understanding your Prakriti and then making conscious choices to bring yourself back into a state of harmony. Ayurveda actually has a very logical four-step approach to healing. First, you remove the cause of the problem. That just makes sense, right? Then you purify the body to get rid of any buildup. Next, you work on bringing the doshas back into balance with the right foods and lifestyle for your type. And finally, you rejuvenate. You rebuild your tissues to get your strength and immunity back up. Ultimately, this whole approach kind of redefines what freedom really is. We tend to think of freedom as being able to do whatever we want whenever we want. But this suggests that true freedom is having the self-awareness to know what your body actually needs and the adaptability to give it that. That's how you free yourself from being a captive to your own cravings and habits. And that's really the question this ancient science leaves us with. It's not about trying to become someone else. It's about getting to know who you already are and then learning to live in a way that honors your own unique, incredible design.